The dark nightmare of child sexual abuse is a haunting reality reaching epidemic proportions throughout the world. The devastating problem is found in all ethnic, economic, and social groups. The possibility that a child you know is being abused is very real. Research tells us that 1 in 3 girls will be sexually abused before she reaches her 18th birthday. 1 in 7 boys is destined for the same fate. The numbers are staggering. The damage to vulnerable children and families casts a lethal shadow on the future of our society. Victims who don't receive counseling are very likely to have significant lifelong medical and emotional problems. And where can a child and a family turn for help? Hello, I'm Dick Van Dyke, and welcome to the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center at Eisenhower Medical Center in Rancho Mirage, California. Barbara and Frank Sinatra founded this impressive and compassionate center in 1986 to counsel physically, sexually, and emotionally abused children, and to prevent and to break the cycle of abuse. When the Children's Center opened, Barbara and Frank pledged that all children would be welcome, regardless of a family's ability to pay. And since then, thousands of young victims have received therapy. These children have been given the tools they need to lead normal, healthy, and happy childhoods, releasing them from the frightening storm of abuse. The Barbara Sinatra Children's Center gives them an opportunity for a bright and productive future. The Children's Center is an internationally recognized, state-of-the-art, community-based prevention and outpatient therapy center committed to providing the highest quality care. This is how it began. In 1982, Barbara Sinatra launched a personal effort to raise funds for the family counseling service of Coachella Valley's child sexual abuse program. After extensive fundraising efforts by both Barbara and Frank Sinatra and the members of the community, plans were finally formalized for the Children's Center to be built on the campus of the Eisenhower Medical Center. On December 12, 1985, Frank Sinatra's 70th birthday, ground was broken for the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center. This 12,500 square foot facility houses one of the nation's most comprehensive programs for sexually abused children and their families. When the children arrive with their families, they sense warmth, tranquility, openness, and safety, perhaps for the very first time in their lives. It's extremely important that the children begin their healing experience in an atmosphere of support and acceptance. The road to learning to trust again can be very long and difficult. Working hand in hand with Child Protective Services, criminal justice system, and other agencies, the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center is staffed by highly qualified licensed professionals. This caring and talented staff prepare individually designed counseling programs aimed at the specific needs of each child.
And I wasn't aware of what had happened to my daughter, and in that time, within a couple of months that I started here, she disclosed that, her uncle was touching her. She came here for 2.5 years. She's an adult now, so she's overcome that. She was very thankful for a place like the Barbara Sinatra Center that was able to give her the help that she needed to open up and to just take that load off of her back. When people come in here, they feel like they're carrying a heavy load. Once they get into their counseling, several sessions, you can actually see the weight come off.
We've been in therapy here for several years, and if I had to say one thing about the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center, it would be that it taught us to build bridges, not walls.
In addition to the bright, uplifting surroundings, the staff understands the importance of multidisciplinary therapy. Under the guidance of the executive and clinical directors, clinicians are challenged to be innovative. The Children's Center develop many successful therapy methods and tools. It's important to stop that generation-to-generation cycle of abuse. At the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center, the cycle of abuse can be broken.
The cycle of abuse involves typically a young man who, out of anger or frustration or fear, will physically or sexually abuse or emotionally abuse a younger person, and that may be a male or a female. That victim is often a family member. Could be a child, a nephew, a cousin, a next-door neighbor perhaps. That victim will learn to abuse someone else. That's the cycle that has to be broken.
We specialize in the kids who have experienced issues related to abuse. Pretty much how it works is that when somebody calls in, they'll call in with a symptomatic child, saying my child is either depressed or anxious or not doing well in school. It could be a child with bedwetting problems, anxiety disorders, anything like that. They'll call and then they'll set up an appointment with the intake coordinator. And then we will assign a therapist to work with that child. But we like to keep our doors open for all types of kids and all types of problems, but our focus is the kids who've really been traumatized.
Children who come to the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center are victims most often of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. Emotional abuse can be just as devastating as scars and sexual assault. Emotional abuse includes withholding education, withholding medical treatment, speaking inappropriately to a child. And all of these forms of abuse include and reflect withholding love. The goal of counseling is to diminish these negative presenting symptoms. And we feel very good about the fact that we do this in a variety of ways.
When a child comes in, and this is universal, whether a child's 4 or 18, what we do when we create this intake process and we have the psychosocial history, we have what's called a pre-test. So all the therapists have a form, basically, and you kind of check off what is wrong with this child. Are they anxious, depressed? Are they cutting on themselves? Are they doing poorly in school? And this is all contained in our chart notes. So then, throughout therapy, our goal is to take each one of these symptoms and try to eliminate them. Maybe not eliminate it 100%, but certainly reduced. So then when you see a child leaving and feeling better and not as depressed, not as anxious, mainstreaming, they leave as hopeful human beings. So that, for us, keeps our juices going, keeps our passion alive.
The work and the influence of the Children's Center goes far beyond these walls. Through brochures and publications, speaking engagements, supporters and staff reach out to the community, educating people about the signs and the significance of child sexual abuse and the importance of taking preventative action. That's an integral part of the center's mission. Our children deserve a healthy and happy childhood filled with love and respect and friendship. And it takes the combined effort of many people to make that happen.
The Children's Center is a nonprofit organization. When Barbara and Frank opened the center, they pledged that no child will ever be turned away. So we are following that promise, that pledge, and find a way to make sure that all the children who come to us for help are given counseling. People don't like to talk about sexual abuse offended on children. It's not a pretty subject, but in order to make a difference, in order to make it stop, in order to put an end to it, it's something that adults need to address. The Children's Center can make a difference in lives that are troubled, children that have been neglected, children who may feel they have no place else to turn. We feel very good about the fact that we are here to help them. Our goal is that the children that we counsel will be the last generation in their families to be abused or become abusers.
Barbara Sinatra is the founder and the chairwoman of the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center at Eisenhower. She is an involved and enthusiastic fundraiser, and she always puts the needs of the children first. Barbara's dedicated her life to this worthy cause.
Child sexual abuse is associated with many social ills, such as crime, poverty, and substance abuse. By being part of this effort to heal the wounds of child sexual abuse, and in many cases prevent it, we can work together to provide effective programs that can turn children away from these ills and toward productive and happy lives. The generous support from our community and friends around the world benefit not only the child, but the family of the child, and literally all of society.
Together, we can help heal abused children and families by showing them hope, respect, and a safe place. The Barbara Sinatra Children's Center.